Welcome to the Tumbleweed Podcast, where we discuss an eclectic range of topics, including business, design, Texas culture, and everything in between.
We're two teachers that turned a side hustle into a nationally known apparel brand, and now we work with some of the biggest names in Texas. We strive to never stop exploring and continue to draw inspiration from our adventures.
So drift and explore or raise a glass. We're always ready to hang out and talk about the things that we love. So come roll with us as we drift and explore. Hey, welcome to the Tumbleweed Podcast. I am Brian Wysong with, of course, Tumbleweed Textiles. I'm the co-owner and founder. And today I have a guy that is a little different than what we've done in the past because he's within the sports industry, a friend, a guy that sits on the chamber board with me. I got Scott. Let us know, who are you, what do you do, and why are you here?
Yeah, well, I'm here because you asked me.
There you go. There you
Try
go.
to help a friend out. No, my name's Scott Burchett. I'm the general manager for the Frisco RoughRiders. We're the AA affiliate for the Texas Rangers. We play right here at RoughRiders Field in Frisco, Texas.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So baseball, it's like a dream job. I know when I was in high school and then when I was at Texas Tech, during the summer, I interned with the Rangers.
I didn't know that.
And it was horrible because I had to drive to the stadium and be there all day, and it was non-paid.
What'd you do?
I sat upstairs and, when I went into the office area, I thought my desk was going to be overlooking the stadium.
Yeah.
They're like, no, keep on going. And so
There's a closet for you.
Yeah, so basically I was just like all hands on deck, a runner. I basically did little office work.
Okay.
And my sister had got me the opportunity. So
Very nice.
But in that, I realized this is what I want to do for life, because you're at a baseball field or in sports. But then I realized how hard it is to actually get into that job and get paid a decent amount of money. So what drew you into the sports industry, and how did you find your way to the role that you're in today?
Yeah, great question. So I grew up around sports. So my dad worked for the Dallas Mavericks and the Texas Rangers when I was growing up, actually on the TV side.
Okay.
So he's a freelance producer, director. So I grew up going to the old Rangers ballpark, not the ballpark in Arlington, but the one before that, the converted minor league stadium that had the metal bleachers out there. So I grew up going to the ballpark with him, and just, I'd sat in the TV truck when he was the guy that basically, called the TV games. He'd be like, camera one, take one, camera two, take two.
All right.
So I grew up watching so many baseball games, not there in person, but also at home too, just to kind of hear his name at the end of the broadcast.
For sure.
What was pretty cool as a kid. So I guess I kind of had that in my blood. So I knew I wanted to be in sports in some capacity. I didn't think I was going to do baseball. I wanted to probably end up in the college space and kind of work my way around the country, and then, maybe eventually end up back here, in DFW.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. I grew up in Garland. But it just so happened I took an internship with the RoughRiders. I was planning to be there for the summer, 6 months. And then I was going to go to Ohio University, get my master's, and then, like I said, bounce around the country. The RoughRiders offered me a full-time job 2 days before I left. I took it.
Wow.
And 19 years later, I'm still here.
Okay. Well, you're a Baylor Bear, is that right?
I am a Baylor Bear, yes, sir.
I have a lot of friends that went to Baylor, and they always want to remind me they have one of the best sports management programs. They do. Did you go through that program? Like, what was your degree that even maybe opened that opportunity?
I did not. I was business management.
Okay.
And I'm giving my age away a little bit. They didn't have that S3 program, the sports management program, when I was there. Now, Dr. Wakefield, who does a great job putting that on, I'm on the S3 board there. He had a couple of sports classes that sat in the business school. So I was business management, took some sports classes, but I wasn't able to take that path because it wasn't there.
Yeah. Well, before this podcast, I was actually sharing with you a little bit, but my original goal was to go to Baylor. Two of my good friends, my best friends all went there. They ended up doing the fraternity scene and living that life, going to church and all that good stuff. But two of my close friends, one was Tommy. He played on the basketball team, and then Trent Shelton, who played football.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was within me.
What was Tommy's last name?
You're asking me a question I can't remember.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was there a Swanson?
Tommy Swanson.
Okay.
Yeah. Tall, lanky guy.
Yeah.
He was on the basketball team, probably not during the best time.
Yeah.
But two really good friends I grew up at North Crowley with, and So it's like with them and all my friends, I wanted to go to Baylor because it's a beautiful campus, great atmosphere, but I love the student body.
Yeah.
So getting away a little bit from baseball, like what did you do what was the activities you were doing? How were you involved at Baylor?
Yeah.
What did you love to do there? Your memories? Yeah.
Yeah, I love Baylor. It was a great fit for me. I wanted to get away from Dallas, but not, so far away where it wasn't easier to get home. My older brother went there, so we were there at the same time. So I had been to the campus multiple times to visit him and see what it was all about. Much like you, I like the faith-based aspect of the university. So my time there was great. I was involved in a Christian fraternity down there called Phi Kappa Chi. Yeah. It was a great fit for me. I think kept me out of a lot of trouble when I was down there as well, which was awesome. But cool. Made friends that I'm still best friends with today down there. So
that's awesome.
And it's fun to see Baylor kind of have a resurgence on the athletic side. When I was there, the football teams you were just referencing weren't all that great, and then the basketball had some unique challenges as well. I remember helping out with. I mentioned Tommy Swanson because after Dave Bliss was there and some incidents happened with the team, they basically had to let go of everybody on scholarship. But it was, I think, Tommy Swanson and maybe one other scholarship guy. So they were doing open tryouts just in the gym, anybody that had any talent at all. So I would have played for that team, but I was graduating in December. So I practiced with Tommy and a few others, just trying to get them ready for a season that was pretty challenging for them.
Well, I stayed in tune to that because Tommy being on the team, I was really interested in all that drama and saga. But Baylor's turned it around. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch.
What was your favorite part of, besides the faith and the student body? Is there now that you are way beyond that time of your life, looking back, what you're most proud of with your campus or with Baylor?
Yeah, I think with Baylor, I'm pretty proud that they've stuck to what their mission is in a challenging, environment. Yeah. So my brother actually, he had just left, but he's been down there since, probably 15 years. He was director of student activities down there at Baylor. So just to see what they've done with the university, has it's continued to grow, has Waco's continued to grow, and just kept their mission all the same. So it's been fun to watch. Yeah.
And Waco in itself is changing.
I know. Chip and JoJo.
I know. It's like an entrepreneur city. Yeah. It's things are popping up.
No doubt.
You got, I think, Balcones Distillery, and a lot of cool things are popping up.
Absolutely.
My favorite is Guest Barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've had that.
I haven't been there yet, no, but I've heard it's great.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
There's so many things there I wish they would have had when I was in school. It's changed quite a bit.
I actually did not touch alcohol ever in college.
I was the same way, believe it or not.
And so I do love craft beer now.
As do I.
So do you have any craft breweries here locally that you really enjoy?
You know what?
And I know you got sponsors, so I got to be
careful here. I do love our RoughRider Big Stick Blonde, if I can put a tag out there. We have our own beer that we partner with Andrew's Distributing on. Man, I really like it all. It's funny. My brothers are both kind of beer snobs. Like they'll get the Untapped out, and they won't have the same beer twice. Yeah. For me, I just like to try different things, and I think most beers are pretty good. So I'm happy there.
I think about 6 months ago I asked you, hey, let's go out and grab a drink. We still haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hold you to it. It's on air now.
I told you I'm going to take you to Herman Marshall. We'll get a nice whiskey there.
I love it. Now, you recently received an accolade, I believe, for in sports. Was it a couple of years ago? You're the General Manager of the Year?
Oh, yeah. Texas League Executive of the Year.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what exactly was that, and who were the people that got to be a part of voting to get you that role? Yeah.
So that one's fun because that's voted on by your peers.
Okay.
So your peers that are in roles within the other organizations. So they obviously know what it takes to succeed in the business, which, there's a lot that goes into it, and it's challenging, a lot of hours, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to do what we do. So for them to, recognize me and honor me meant a lot.
Very cool. I will, kind of looking back, Jeb and I, my business partner, we, I remember walking in, it might have been close to 8 years ago. I remember we set up a meeting with you, and I was scared and nervous. I was sweaty. I remember having a pre-meeting with Jeb before walking in. Oh, it was a practice, Not really a practice. It was like, hey, having a meeting before the meeting,
Did you role play with somebody playing me during that meeting?
Not quite.
Okay.
Not quite. But we should have. But it all worked out. We've done some cool things with the RoughRiders.
Yeah.
But I just remember walking in thinking, okay, Tumbleweed Textiles, we might partner with a professional baseball team.
Yeah.
And I just remember going in, trying to fake it till you make it,
Yeah.
trying to look good and act like we're a big deal. But it was a pretty cool experience that you took the time to meet with, especially at that time, a small little local business.
Yeah.
In that, the point is y'all do such a wonderful job connecting to your community, creating an incredible experience for your customers. As the general manager, what's the process that y'all try to do to really embody the culture of community and live entertainment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I tell people all the time, we're not in the baseball business. We're not even in the sports marketing business. We're in the memory making business, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So you were telling me the story earlier about your son that got to come out to Dino Night at the ballpark and picked up a couple baseballs and got to see different dinosaurs around the ballpark. So what we do, we try to just make memories for folks in all sorts of different ways. That way touched your son and you guys have a father-son memory, for the rest of your life. Yeah. We do that with all our different promotions, all our different events that we have going on in the ballpark. So we try to treat every day like it's opening day.
That's awesome.
Because we really do have new people coming into the ballpark that are choosing to spend their hard-earned dollars to experience baseball, minor league baseball. So we try to put on a show for them each and every single day and hopefully create those special memories for them. And then to more specifically answer your question as far as connecting to the community, we really want our ballpark to be the summer gathering place for Collin County. And, that can mean a lot of different things. And Collin County is way more diverse than what people realize. And there's a lot of people that have non-traditional baseball backgrounds now. So we have an Indian bazaar coming up next month where we're going to have 15,000 people out here and food trucks and all sorts of stuff.
Really cool.
We had that last year and they loved it so much they added on 1,000 group tickets and had a big Indian bazaar night at the ballpark where we're kind of blending the traditional Rough Rider fan and, a different culture that might not have a baseball background together. That's and cool. Introduce them together. So we got a Filipino festival coming up. We have a cricket match coming up in the fall. A halal festival. So all sorts of stuff that's representing, our community and getting more people out to the ballpark and just really being that gathering place.
Filipino.
Yeah.
Man, my brother-in-law, Roy, he's as Filipino as it comes.
Yeah.
I mean, culturally, they eat the food. And so I need to make sure I let him know about that.
I'm excited about
That's
it. I've
cool.
learned a lot about all these different cultures and foods and whatnot. It's been a lot of fun as well.
Yeah. Now, general manager, okay, that carries some weight, because if you go to the RoughRiders website and you pull up the baseball team, of course the front office, you're right there at the very top with of course with the ownership. What exactly is a general manager in the sports industry, and specifically your role, and kind of what do you do? What do you do in your operational role?
Yeah, I always get the question, kind of, what do you do on your day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
And frankly, that's one of the things I enjoy about my job is every day is a little bit different.
Right.
Obviously our core business is our 69 Rough Rider home games that we have throughout the course of the season. Yeah, you think that's a lot. Our players play 138, so that's home and away. So it's a long baseball season. But really, it's everything that goes in to running the organization. So, it's like any other small business out there. So it's, your ticket sales, sponsorships, boring stuff like business administrative and accounting. Yeah. It's the non-game day event. It's anything that goes into running the ballpark and then really being that conduit between us and the Texas Rangers for them to develop their players.
Right.
So the goal is to have, obviously put on a great show, have a great experience at the ballpark, and then on the player development side, have these guys succeed and move on to the next level and eventually play, in the big leagues with the Rangers. So I think to date we've had 190 that have gone up and played in the big leagues, including Alex Spies just a couple days ago, who debuted in the Rangers bullpen.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorites is Ian Kinsler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, played with us in 2004.
Yeah, and he
went to Missouri and Arizona or Arizona State.
Murphy. Baylor Bear. I don't know.
David Murphy, right?
That's the other one. So that's probably one of my favorite parts. I know you'll have the lazy river.
Uh-huh.
I haven't been in there. I don't know if I'm going to go in there.
Oh, come on.
It's a party.
Yeah.
And I'm a little old for that party, I think.
No, you're good.
But one of my favorite parts is walking through the kind of the Hall of Fame, and you see all the pictures of all the people. Mm-hmm. And the tradition of baseball, that to me is really, that's what it's embodying, is you see the history that has come through that Rough Rider Stadium.
Yeah.
For you as a general manager, obviously you run the business side. Mm-hmm. Do you get much interaction with the players?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
For sure. It's our job to set it up for them to succeed. So, our platform is to basically let the Rangers make the decisions on, who to send up, who to send down, all that stuff. But we want to make it as easy as possible for them to develop their skill set and eventually end up in the big leagues. So, we've had a lot of great players. I mean, we've been there 20 years now, believe it or not. We're celebrating our 20th anniversary. So we've seen a lot of good players both on the home side and the visiting side. So it's high-quality baseball, some of the best baseball around, and then all the other entertainment aspects that make minor league baseball so fun and entertaining.
And you are kicking butt this year.
We are, yeah. We're doing well. On business side, we're doing great. Our attendance is up well over 20%, and on the field, we're doing pretty well, too. So we got some really good prospects that are going to be really good players someday. Evan Carter, our center fielder, one of the top 10 prospects in all of baseball, great guy. Luis Angel Acuna, whose older brother, Ronald, plays for the Atlanta Braves. Shortstop, second baseman. He's going to be a really good player among others.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I noticed y'all have even been having some guest appearances lately by saw a guy from Yellowstone.
Yes, Denham Richards.
In The Office.
Yeah.
Is that through you all, like setting up these opportunities to, I think, not too long ago, you got from NSYNC, I think, or Backstreet Boys?
It was NSYNC, yeah.
NSYNC. And so are you helping set it up, or is that through Major League Baseball?
No, that's us.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a couple different ways you go about it. There's agencies out there that represent some folks that'll send emails out of, here's booking here for the summer. There's other ones where we go out and we find them ourselves. For example, we wanted to have a Yellowstone night at the ballpark because that show is obviously really popular, kind of a cultural phenomenon.
For
So
sure.
for that one, we just went out and tried to Google folks and track them down and see who might be interested. So it kind of goes both ways.
And that's the thing is, getting into business, right?
Yeah.
Like not really RoughRiders, but the scope of your business. It sounds like you're doing a lot more than just dealing with people within your staff. I mean, you're having to create an experience. You're not just dealing with baseball. You're having to deal with this entertainment. You got a lazy river.
Yeah.
You're dealing with sponsorships and different partnerships like with beverage companies and so on. I mean, how is it like managing a team? Obviously, you can't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
And I think we all know you probably surround yourself with some very amazing people.
No doubt.
How is it like managing people? And you have a big team, so managing a lot of people.
Yeah. I describe it very similar to a baseball manager, if you will.
Yeah.
Our season's long, just like the whole baseball season, and you got to be a steady hand on that, a steady ship. There can be some highs and some lows, so just understand we all make mistakes, throughout the course of an entire 69-game home season. When you have a couple 100,000 fans coming into the ballpark, we do a really good job, but there are going to be some issues just when you have that many people together at one time. So, for us, it's how to respond to those, how do we treat people, how do we make things right? That really makes a difference and really cements those lifelong fans there. So, to answer your question, we got a great team behind us. We have about 35 full-time staff that work their tails off throughout the course of the season and really season long because. Right when our season ends, heck, we're already planning for 2024 season right now, believe it or not. Yeah. So right when our season ends, we are full bore into next season. It's a year-round job, year-round responsibility, but they do a great job really just buying in to what we're trying to do here and just working, day and night to deliver for our fans and making memories at the ballpark. In addition to those full-time people, we have another couple hundred that come in on a game day or seasonal basis. From the first touch point when somebody takes their money at, the parking to where they, scan their tickets in to, the ushers, to the people that clean up the ballpark, to our concession staff. Each one of those people, it's a touch point, and people remember those. So, we try to train those people up just to deliver a first-class customer service experience.
So this is all going down in season.
Yeah.
But now let's discuss off season when technically it's a kind of an empty space.
Yeah.
But also y'all need to monetize that space. So you're working year round.
Oh yeah.
It's not seasonal. What is it like during the off season in the sense of business?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. A lot of my friends think that I just go down and play catch during the entire off season or just take batting practice. Like, I wish. Yeah. A lot of times off season can be busier than the season, believe it or not. A little less hours, but still so much to get done because the more you get done during the off season, it sets you up for success during the season and just makes it a little easier as well. But we keep the ballpark going, 365 nowadays. So it really is an entertainment venue.
Yeah.
Right when our season ends, we go into festival season at the ballpark, from a Halloween festival to all those, different cultural festivities that we have that I mentioned earlier, right into a light show throughout the holiday season that transitions into. We have a circus in the spring, college baseball games, high school baseball games, in addition to all the private events that we have, movie nights, softball games, kickball games, you name it, we can do it.
Hey, one of my favorite events, and I don't like these schools because I'm a Red Raider through and through. But we did pop up a tent, Tumbleweed Textiles, at the OU University of Texas event. Yeah, it was like the celebrity baseball game.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun because I do have a little man crush on Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, and he was right there in front of me. I loved it.
He's a decent baseball player too.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, and him and Toby Keith and Bob Stoops and all sorts of guys. That was a fun one.
There's a few others that. Now I'm drawing a blank, but Matthew McConaughey was definitely the memorable one. Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple guys like seeing him in person, like, really?
Roger Clemens was there.
Yeah. That was the one I was trying to think about. Yeah.
And Vince Young. There's kind of who's who of Texas OU.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we had Dirk's game for years, and that one kind of got COVID kind of got in the way of that one. So we're looking to have a fun event next year, actually, with Micah Parsons and the Cowboys here for another celebrity softball game. So that'll be coming in 2024.
Well, I'm looking forward to that day. We have we were a part of the Texas theme night. Yeah. But maybe one of these days we have a Tumbleweed Textiles night.
Well, we would love to have that. Absolutely.
We got to bring a crowd, I know.
There you go.
But
it's funny when you mentioned meeting with me. You said 8 years ago. I thought it was like 15 years ago.
It feels like it.
Yeah, time comes at you
I used
fast.
to have hair then.
Exactly. I still have the 2 shirts that you gave me.
Okay, really?
Yeah. One was a state of Texas outline, and it had beer on it. Yeah. And the other one, I think, had like a native or something like that.
Yeah,
but
for
they're
sure.
still in my closet.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did my research to make sure you were native.
There you go.
And was that shirt green?
Or one was blue, one was gray.
Okay.
One was like a heathered blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I knew because I remember go and do my research. I saw that you're a Baylor Bear, so I figured I might have brought you a green
there you
shirt.
Go.
So that's good that you remember that. Before this, I asked you if you did remember that, and I was impressed that you did. Yeah. So now getting a little away. Well, let me ask two quick questions.
Yeah.
I think. As you probably know, I was an educator for 10 years, teacher, and I actually taught the sports and entertainment marketing in Frisco ISD. Yep. And these kids, aspiring business professionals in the sports career, they have no clue what it takes. So if you had any tips or advice for aspiring sports professionals that are high school or college kids, what are you looking for? Like, how can they maybe approach that industry and have a chance of making it?
Yeah, there's 2 things that I look for to hire, and it's good attitude and effort. Yeah. We don't expect young people that are just starting out in the industry to have it all figured out. That's our job, to teach them up, train them up, and set them up for success. My advice, if you want to break into the industry, is to start in it. I think internships are a great way. Really learn if it is something you want to do. There's a lot of folks that really like sports but don't understand sports is a heck of a lot of work and a lot of late hours. So just make sure you're passionate about the business side of it and the fan experience side of it, not just watching, your favorite sport on TV. So make sure it is, for you, Right. So, it always kills me when somebody goes, and you mentioned kind of a sports degree in college that might, do that for 4 years, never really get into it until they graduate and then realize maybe it might not be for them. Yeah. So I always encourage people to get into the industry, kind of figure out through real world experience what it is that you like about it, what you don't, what path you want to take. I think that's the best way to figure out and the best way to break into the industry as well.
For sure. And then the other element is not just trying to enter it, but how to have a life within it. Mm-hmm. And I see you at these games. Any game I've ever been to, I see you there, regardless if I say hey to you or not. Like, I typically don't want to bother you.
I stand out a little bit too.
Yeah, you're a little taller than everyone else, and I'm short, so you're really tall. But the family life, right? I mean, you're doing. You said 69 games, plus all these other events. I'm assuming you have to be there pretty much at every event.
A lot of them, yeah.
How's that like balancing family work life?
It's tough. My wife, Caroline, is amazing. Yeah. We're high school sweethearts. We've known each other since elementary school. Wow. I started dating in high school at South Garland, and then went to school at Baylor together. Okay. So, she's amazing. She does a great job. But we have 3 kids. I have twins, Bennett and Clara, that are 10, and then little Lucy, who's 5. Wow. So she's fantastic. She works from home, so she has some flexibility there, which is great. And then you just got to, find time for family time. And a lot of time that can be at the ballpark, too. Yeah. So luckily my kids enjoy coming out. Yeah. My boy likes watching the games. The other ones like coming out for the cotton candy and the Dippin' Dots and the playground, just like our normal fan base. That's cool. Different things that kind of bring them in. So, you got to be smart. You got to break away when you can. I really try to be as present as possible too. I'm not at the ballpark. I've given up all hobbies. So I used to play golf. I don't do that anymore. Don't do anything that takes away from family time. When I am available.
sure.
And when I'm there, I try to be as present as possible.
Because I said this actually the last couple of podcasts, but that's the season I'm in is learning. Okay, enough's enough as an entrepreneur and a business owner, especially as someone that I did have a couple careers. I was a teacher, full-time teacher, and running this business. Now running this business with our staff, I've got to start putting my wife and family first, not the business.
Yep.
And whenever I'm at these games, knowing you, I'm always thinking, how does he do this?
Yeah.
Like, these are late nights. You get the fireworks, and then you have to clean everything up. And so, kudos to you, and big kudos to your wife for
no
being
doubt.
able to go through that.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but she's amazing.
And so with that, kind of deterring now away from baseball, you've gone through some life struggles. If you don't mind me bringing this up,
no
some adversity. Do you mind? Because I don't even know how to approach this. Like, you did a big thing with UT Southwestern.
Yeah.
Can you kind of share a little bit about that adversity you went through and how you have kind of overcome that battle?
Yeah. So if I start tearing up on you, I apologize. So
Sorry.
sometimes I get a little emotional. So So I had cancer. It was thyroid cancer. Crazy enough, I was diagnosed with that actually the same week I found out I was having twins.
Oh, wow.
So I found out I was having twins and then found out I had cancer a couple of days later, kind of, a 1-2 punch, if you will.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to find the local thyroid cancer group here in Dallas that connected me with UT Southwestern. And they're amazing down there. They do a great job. And Dr. Holt and Dr. Lingve, who I still see to this day, took everything out, got me on radiation. So there's still a little bit in there, but they're monitoring it. So everything's stable right now. And then, actually UT Southwestern, was one of our partners a couple years ago, and they obviously knew my story and said, "Hey, can we use you for our ad campaign for the year?" Just to tell people about what we can do. So I'm fairly private about stuff like that. I didn't.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Before that, I was very closed off. I've opened up quite a bit more, and I think it was really good that it kind of forced me out of my comfort zone to be able to tell my story, just to be able to, give some people some comfort. If they're going through the same thing, that you can come out on the other side. So I'm really thankful and happy that I did it. It was weird to see my billboard up all around town on DFW, and be on the news and then be on TV stations.
Oh, yeah.
And even when I go to UT Southwestern today for my checkups, I still see my face plastered around everywhere, which is hilarious. But no, it was it was a challenging season for us. But at the same time, I think anything like that in life, you can take lessons from and you can learn from. For me, I think you just kind of mentioned the life stage that you're at. I think at that time in my life, and just really kind of centered me on what was important and what's not important. I had a cancer that, luckily was, very survivable with the right treatments and whatnot, and they caught it at a good time, but even just, and the doctor tells you have cancer and you hear that word, like it's super scary. So it just puts things into perspective, and, that's still with me today when you're dealing with minor stuff and things like that, I don't sweat the small stuff as much. There's more important things to life.
For sure. And one, I didn't really fully warn you that I was going to ask you that question.
No, you're good.
And it kind of just came out. I'm not going to lie. But to me, I think, and of course, and people that listen to this know I'm a man of faith.
Yeah.
And I think for you going to Baylor, people probably assume you're a man of faith.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
And I think we all have a living testimony.
Yeah.
That for the good and the bad, God is able to take us to and use all things for His good.
Yes.
And I think what you said a second ago is we all go through these things, trials, circumstances, the highs and the lows. But a lot of times, especially as a man, you want to hold it in.
Yeah.
But there's so many other people out there that are facing the similar situation. And that just by telling that story and hearing your triumph and how you have been able to make it through it, and continue working and doing what you're doing, it didn't completely detour your career. Provides a little hope and a little encouragement to those that might be listening. So, anyways, I'm so thankful that you had a positive outcome of that story. So,
as am I.
Yeah, for
absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, it's, it doesn't define me. It's just a part of, what we had to overcome and learn from it and make the best of it.
No doubt. Well, while that's probably why that is so engraved in my mind is it was Texas theme night, and I had popped up our tent at your the stadium.
Yeah.
And that night was when you were being followed by a camera everywhere you go. I'm like, what is going on? And I asked someone there, and they whispered in my ear what it was. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
So I wasn't sure how to approach that.
No, that was a cool night. I had so many people come up to me and had no idea and had either similar stories or, just like you said, just connect me with folks.
Yeah.
So, I've been able to do that multiple times, probably 10 plus of just, somebody that knows my story and has, a brother, a friend, whatever it might be that's going through the same thing and just wants to talk. Just because, when you hear that from the doctor and, they're so technical about it, they want to hear real world, what can I expect when I'm going through this?
For sure.
So, being able to help those people out and kind of just, give them some pointers and just, just a pat on the back and, hey, you're going to be okay type thing. Yeah. I think all that was for a reason, and I feel blessed to be able to do that.
To go on a little happier topic, maybe, looking at baseball.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about my son, memories.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those American sports, American just traditions in general.
Baseball and apple pie.
No doubt.
Yeah.
And beer? No.
Yeah.
But what are some of your, not RoughRiders, but just the sport of baseball? Could be the seventh inning stretch, it could be peanuts, it could be Dippin' Dots. I don't know. But what is it that really, when you go to those games and you stand there and it's not about what you've done, but just the sport.
Yeah.
What fires you up and really connects you to just the love of the game?
It's all the little stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for example, we won the Texas League Championship last year. That was awesome. And I had a lot of fun going up to Wichita and celebrating with the guys. But it's not stuff like that. It's the little things. It's like you mentioned, it's the mom or dad bringing their kid out to the first baseball game. It's, somebody who, my little kid who's fighting cancer that gets to come out and meet the players, throw out a first pitch and get some hope for the rest of the family. For me, my favorite time of the year, every year is opening day, full ballpark, an entire off season of, work that goes in, to putting on what the Rough Rider experience is all about. So what I always try to do, and I tell our staff to do this as well, through all the craziness, through all the things that are happening on opening day, try to take, 5-10 minutes, go in the outfield, look at the stadium, look at the full stands, 10,000 people, and realize, hey, I had a part in making all these mememories.
For sure.
So that's what it's all about for me. It's people come down to the field to watch fireworks, after the game's over. It's just everything that goes into the sights, the sounds, and the smells of the ballpark.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, how much do you touch the marketing side of what you'll do? Oh, quite a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
marketing, at least for us, it's a team effort.
Okay.
So Kristen King on our team leads our marketing department. She does an amazing job. She's fantastic, and her team underneath her does a great job putting out really major league quality work here in a minor league team. But it's really all hands on deck for marketing, and there's no bad ideas. So, well, I've had some bad ideas, but
I'm sure.
Yeah, but we're always throwing them out there and trying to see what sticks.
Well, I threw one of them out, Tumbleweed Textiles.
I love it. We'll make it happen.
But when you look at then marketing, I didn't want to go down this path. You say I don't touch that.
Yeah.
So marketing, we do have a lot of people listen to this because we give tips and just advice on marketing, creative stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, most people listening to this probably aren't in the baseball industry.
Yeah.
So just anything that can even apply into other industries like retail and apparel.
Yeah.
But how do y'all go about thinking about the customer? Obviously, it's consumer driven.
Yeah.
And creating an experience and a memorable experience.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips or ideas like how y'all go about that in trying to curate something that is special enough that people walk away and want to talk about it and relive it and come back again?
I think there's a couple different elements there. One, we kind of have our core, Rough Riders experience. We're all about family friendly. We're all about, you mentioned kind of baseball and Americana.
Yeah.
Just, what's everything that's right about going to a minor league baseball game. All the things that are wacky, the in-between inning skits, the videos that you play, all the things that you can get away with at the minor league level that you might not be able to do at the big league level that's more kind of focused on the wins and losses. But for us, it's really kind of breaking through the clutter, we're a minor league team in a major league market. So, we're not going to be the top news story. It's going to be Cowboys, 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 Cowboys. And after that, Rangers, Maverick, Stars,
Right.
depending on, what the season might be. So for us, we're always trying to come up with things that'll break through that clutter and get people to talk about us. You mentioned, having Stanley out from The Office on Friday. That's one of those ways that we do that,
Yeah.
a fun theme night and a celebrity appearance that people will connect to.
Yeah.
It's all sort of wacky promotions that we do. Like the one that I think is most memorable, even though we got in trouble for it, it was still memorable for us. I don't know if you remember when Rougned Odor punched Jose Bautista a couple years ago during a game. So we were trying to capitalize on that and get our word out about what we were doing out there. And Rougned played for us a few years earlier. So we came up with Rougned's Red Punch. And we had cups that were a silhouette of him hitting Bautista. It was a special drink that you could buy in the bar.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun. We got a lot of news pub on it. And then we quickly got a call from Major League Baseball saying you can't do that. Number one, you can't have a player like this with alcohol. That was our fault. We didn't read the rules closely enough on that one. And then Rougned, actually, his agent called and said, "Hey, you guys can't use his likeness like that. Oh, but by the way, he likes the cups, and can you send a couple?"
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, something like that, I don't know if I'm allowed to go down this path, but you just get a slap on the wrist, a penalty?
For that one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some fines here and there?
Yeah, for that one. That was just don't do it anymore.
Okay.
Type
That's
thing.
good.
But we're always looking to be creative and kind of break through and do things that'll be unique and memorable. Probably our most unique aspect of the ballpark is our lazy river.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes up the entire right field. And that was my baby building that one. I was basically project manager on that. We always had a pool in the outfield for years and years and years. And that was so popular that we decided to add a second pool. Well, as you might imagine, throughout the brainstorming process, that just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until we ended up with our lazy river out there. But, that's one of those things. I think our owner, Chuck, describes it well. He describes it like, the new roller coaster at Six Flags. Not everybody rides it, but everybody talks about it.
Oh, for sure.
So that's how our lazy river is. So, that's a unique marketing thing. That seems to go viral on the internet multiple times a year.
Oh, for sure.
All that stuff and just picks up. And then we get some influencers out there that kind of help with that. But, so always trying to think of ways to leverage that and the rest of the ballpark experiences to get people talking about us and get people interested in our baseball.
Are you a big part of that idea?
Lazy River?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I did not know
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not going to lie, whenever baseball comes up in conversation about RoughRiders, that's one of the first things that pops up in people's
everybody
conversation.
Talks about it, yeah.
And like I said, I haven't been in it, but I talk about it.
We're going to fix that.
Okay.
Yeah, next time we do a podcast, we'll do it from the river.
Do you ever hang out there, like off-season, hot weather? Do you ever find your team out there using it?
Our team does every single day.
Oh, wow.
Almost. So after batting practice, you'll see some of our guys or the visiting guys or the umpires even.
Really?
Yeah, floating around in there trying to cool off after PP. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it does really well during the summer. There's a few tickets left, so anybody listening that wants to come out and enjoy the river for a game, it's almost sold out, but there are a few games left with some tickets.
That's cool. Now, as a business professional, as a sports, obviously connoisseur, is there like any last few tips you want? If someone's listening to this, you want to make sure they walk away with just about anything in general that might be on your mind that you want to leave for the listeners?
Yeah, I think the one basic thing, and this is where I got my start in the sports career. My first boss here, a guy named Mike McCall, he was the first GM of the RoughRiders, and what he used to always say is, "Get your yes, be your yes." Basically, do what you say you're going to do. And I know it's incredibly simple, but I'm sure you can see this in your business walk as well. It's amazing how many people you come across that promise the world and don't deliver on it. So that's why I tell our staff, just do what you say you're going to do. Let's just make sure we deliver on what we're telling our customers and follow through on that. When people come out to our ballpark, they're looking to have a good time. That's one of the unique things about baseball and minor league baseball. They're coming out. It's not like an experience going to the grocery store or the bank. You're coming out in a good mood, looking to have a good time.
Yeah.
As long as we don't screw it up, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. Well, I can say y'all always deliver. I've been there with friends. I've been there with family, and specifically my kids. It's a great experience, regardless. I'm just being honest. Like half the time, I'm not even paying attention to baseball.
Most people aren't, believe it or not.
There's a lot of things going on, and whether they win or lose, there's no way someone should not leave having a great time and a great experience.
And I appreciate that, and that's one of the best things about minor league baseball.
Yeah.
It's not so much about the wins and losses. It's all about the experience.
But this year makes a good difference when you are winning a lot of games.
It always helps.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one quick last thing is you also are involved in the community. Like I mentioned before, you are involved with the Frisco Chamber of Commerce.
Yep.
Your personal involvement in the community. Why are you doing that, and like why is it important to you to be giving back, I guess?
Yeah. And that really is a organization-wide effort for us.
Yeah.
COVID was tough for our industry. We went 18 months with no revenue. So, not great. I was a business major, and the 18 months no revenue is bad for any business out there. But during that time, we went from a staff of low 50s to about 5.
Wow.
So we lost a ton of institutional knowledge and just connections in the community, and just people that, just knew people and knew how to connect the dots. Yeah. So for us, building back up post-COVID, that's been one of our points of emphasis of just getting people out there and getting people involved. It doesn't matter what it is. We just want people involved in what their passions are and just make those connections, whatever nonprofits, community groups, churches, volunteer opportunities. We have some that are, team driven on quote unquote work days, and some that are obviously on weekends and whatnot. But we just want people out in the community. Not only is that good for business, but that's just good for their personal growth. Just to have different perspectives out there, meet more people, make more connections, and just once again, we want to serve the community that we're in. So just we want to be part of that.
For sure. Well, I will say we are in a community with the Stars, the Cowboys. But the Legends, but the first team that comes to my mind when I think of pro sports in Frisco is FC Dallas. Can't forget about them.
Yep.
But the first comes to mind is RoughRiders. And I think y'all represent our city extremely well. And you are a man that whenever I think of the people in our community that I want to be like as a business professional, as a family man, as a man of faith, and obviously a person of their word, like what you do at the chamber, it's you, and I genuinely mean that.
Oh, thank you.
So
that means a lot.
I was really excited when they announced you, along with Ryan, as being board members with the chamber. You two are two of my favorite guys in the community. So
he's a great guy too,
for sure. One last question, totally random.
Yeah,
and of course we know your answers: the Rangers, and of course RoughRiders.
Yeah,
but outside of those two. Is there a team that maybe you really love? And you really follow, maybe because of growing up or your childhood or whatever it might be?
Yeah. So obviously I'm a Baylor fan.
Okay.
So I like all Baylor sports. Football, my dad cursed me for a lifetime of Cleveland Browns fandom.
Oh my goodness.
I know. He's from Southern Ohio.
Okay.
So he got me on the Browns. I was watching Bernie Kosar and Kevin Mack and all those guys in the 80s, but it hasn't been quite so good recently. So yeah, I would say, all the local teams, because I grew up, going to the games, the Mavericks and Rangers with my dad. But I think outside of that, I'm a Browns fan. So haven't had a lot to cheer for the past, forever.
Yeah.
But hopefully this year's their year.
Does that make you a little more critical being in the sports industry of even other sports, going to games or
watching
TV?
It kind of ruins you. Yeah, actually. Yeah, for sure. When you're going to a game, you're just noticing a lot of stuff and you're taking notes. I mean, I view it as a way to get better. So I'm always trying to get ideas and there's a lot of teams out there and a lot of teams do a lot of things really well. When I go to a game, I want to steal some of those ideas and how do we bring it to Frisco and continue to make our ballpark world class. So I just took my boy to a Rockies game 2 weekends ago up in Denver, Rockies versus Yankees. So we had a great weekend up there, little father-son bonding. But at the same time, it was a great experience. And then I was also, taking notes on my phone on some things that they do that I'd love to bring back to the experience at the ballpark.
Man, the only thing I would think the RoughRiders could add was, I don't remember the name, but I see him on TikTok. The banana
Savannah Bananas.
So what's up with all that?
Yeah.
Like them dancing? Like, will y'all ever get into the groove of dancing?
Oh, I don't know if our guys will do that. Yeah, but they've been great for baseball.
Yeah.
And actually, my wife and I were looking at TikTok last night on some of those because she had seen them, but she didn't quite know what they're all about, and she was loving it. So They do a great job. For those that aren't familiar, they're kind of almost like the Globetrotters for baseball, and they put on an amazing show. So we'd love to have them here to Frisco at some point to show our fans what they do. So they do a great job.
What league are they? Is there a league that they're in?
They were in a league, not anymore. They're basically just kind of a traveling show now.
Okay, because I was wondering about that. Because I was like, how did they get by doing that?
They started out as a college wood bat league. Then they kind of merged into, they had two different kind of teams. One was the college wood bat league that played, real baseball, if you will, and then one that was kind of the show.
Okay.
Fans kind of got confused between the two of them, so they decided to go all in on that part, and I think it was smart. They've done a great job, and people talk about them a lot, and I think it's great for baseball. Yeah. The more people that are talking baseball and getting introduced to the sport, I think it's fantastic.
That's
and
cool.
I think a lot of teams could learn from that as well, on the minor league level and the big league level, maybe not take ourselves so seriously and, just have fun,
Well, it's funny watching. I remember the first few times I saw it, I'd probably quickly flip. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
But now every time one of those pops up, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I watch it all the way through, maybe 2 or 3 times.
There you go. Yeah, it's fun.
Now, we do also have a lot of designers and creatives that listen, and Jeb is a significant uniform snob. Okay. And so in the sport of baseball, pro, semis, whatever, besides, of course, the Rangers and, of course, the RoughRiders, is there a uniform that you just, you love? Like that, and it could be through history, right?
Yeah.
Like a certain uniform that really resonates with you.
Yeah. I think I've always been fascinated on the West Coast for some reason.
Okay.
So I've always loved the Dodgers uniforms and the Giants uniforms. Okay. And I love the Giants cream, and that's similar to the cream that we have with the RoughRiders, kind of that, vintage throwback look. So I think both those uniforms are classic and clean and crisp, and I like them a lot.
I love it. We, one of the catchers for the Rangers used to live here in Frisco, and I just remember him coming in, getting here to talk to actually the baseball player about his thing was the baby blue, and so we actually did a shirt with him that it said Los Rangers.
Yeah.
And I know we probably weren't supposed to do that. We didn't sell many of them, but they sold really well, like the ones that we did. But we got a little scared because we realized maybe we weren't supposed to do this.
Yeah, some copyright issues there.
Possibly. It did say Los. You know? But uniforms that we love that, and it's like for us football, the Oilers.
Yeah.
I love the Baltimore Orioles uniforms.
Yeah,
but
they got a good one too.
We get a lot of inspiration for our shirts on the color schemes of sports uniforms.
It's funny. The last podcast I did was actually with a uniform blog and podcast out there talking about the RoughRiders and when we rebranded in 2015, just the whole story behind that, kind of going back to our roots with Teddy Roosevelt and the RoughRiders and everything that went into our current logo.
So what? And I know we're kind of off over time,
You're
but
good.
We've got designers listening now. So the Teddy Roosevelt, I love that, and it's funny because I see that hat popping up all over. People that don't honestly live in this area might not even follow them.
Yeah, we've had all 50 states and multiple countries who have bought that
too.
So
what's up with that, and how's that implemented in the RoughRiders?
Yeah, so when we rebranded in 2015, we went back to what our roots were, with Teddy Roosevelt and his RoughRiders. So a lot of those RoughRiders that fought in the Spanish-American War, came from this area. Eventually met in San Antonio down there at the Minger Hotel. But we wanted to go back to those roots.
That's cool.
We partnered with a design company named Brandios. They do a lot of minor league baseball logos out there. So a lot of the ones that you're probably familiar with, those wacky, crazy minor league baseball logos, they're responsible for.
Really?
They're good or bad. Yeah, depending on who you ask. I love them. They do a great job. But we partnered with them, and we spent so much time on it and so many iterations of it, of what the Teddy logo would look like. We're really happy where it ended up. Yeah. We have our Smiling Teddy. Has a big Teddy head on it. That's our most popular logo, most popular T-shirt and hat. And then our Swingin' Teddy that's incorporated into our full logo there. So we really tried to thread the needle a little bit. We really wanted something whimsical in minor league baseball, something fun, kind of character-based, but also classic as well. We didn't quite want to lean into too much on some of the wacky logos that might be out there. So we tried to hit the best of both worlds. I think Brandios and the whole team did a great job doing that.
Oh, for sure. I love it. I mean, I love the Rangers, but it's like I want one of those hats for my kid.
There you go.
I want my son to be repping that Teddy, hat. So kudos to that for sure.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. You, like I said, I respect you as a man, but also kudos to the RoughRiders. Also, you won an award. You were honored by people in your role across Texas sports, right? Mm-hmm. But I think RoughRiders is doing such a wonderful job of providing the best entertainment, honestly, I think Frisco has.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Tickets start at $11. Come on out.
Come on. And you might see the dinosaurs. And
there you go.
My son loved it. So.
You never know what you see there.
But, man, thank you so much for those listening. We greatly appreciate it. As I always ask, man, if you love this episode, share with your friends. We are on social media, Facebook, Instagram, of course, Twitter, and give us a share, and we would appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.